Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Though the streams are swollen, keep them doggies rolling, rawhide. Better just stick with playing the guitar. But a great TV theme song will stick in your head. And if you recall, it came in pretty handy for the Blues Brothers. Of course, we're talking about the classic Western Rawhide, starring Eric Fleming and Clint Eastwood. I'm pretty sure the second guy went on to do a few more things. Rawhide ran for 8 seasons with 217 black and white episodes. This Western would at times deal with some very tough subjects. It touched on racism, drug addiction, and even post-Civil War stress syndrome. It could get kind of spooky too, with mysterious stalkers, haunted hills, curses, and of course, ghost towns. But through it all, they kept them doggies, cattle, rolling. And what we got was one of the best classic TV Westerns of all time. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. What's the secret word? Groucho! You Bet Your Life was a radio show in the 40s, and then it made the jump to television in 1950, where it ran for 11 seasons. And during its run, Groucho had some of the most classic moments in television history. He would lure the contestant into saying something slightly racy, and the audience would come unglued. Then all he had to do was smile, turn towards the audience, and smoke his cigar. But more often than not, he had a hilarious comeback. The comedic value aside, it was a real game show, and people won real money. And now for a bit of spooky trivia. One contestant who won the $10,000 jackpot was named William Peter Blatty. He was an author, and he told Groucho he'd use his winnings to take some time off to work on his novel. And what novel was it? The Exorcist. And here's a little bit more trivia. They actually pay homage to Groucho by mentioning his name in the movie, but I prefer to think of him more in the comedic way. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Do you know that one of the first TV shows to be filmed in Hollywood was I Love Lucy? The show ran from 1951 to 1957, utilizing Jackie Gleason's 3-camera shoot technique. It was a remake of Lucy's radio show, My Favorite Husband. When they brought it to TV, Lucy was able to suggest that they use her real-life husband, Desi Arnaz. And Desi turned out to be quite the TV innovator as well. He created the art of the rerun. But the initial reason for doing it was because Lucy was pregnant and he wanted to give her some rest. And the CBS censors wouldn't let Lucy say pregnant on the show. Instead, she had to say expecting. It's also said the budget was pretty low for guest stars, so how did they get the likes of William Holden, John Wayne, Bob Hope, Orson Welles, and even Harpo Marx? Answer is apparently they all loved the show and were very good friends with the power couple. And the fact remains that after 60 years, many fans still love Lucy. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. It Takes a Thief aired on ABC from 1968 to 1970. It starred television icon Robert Wagner. It also starred dancing and movie icon Fred Astaire. The show was inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's movie To Catch a Thief, taken from the English proverb, "It takes a thief to catch a thief." It all begins where this thief had already been caught and was in prison. He was then approached by the Secret Intelligence Agency, and they asked him to steal for the government in exchange for his freedom. Fred Astaire, who played his father, was also a master thief. In the classic intro of the show, he says, "I've heard of stealing from the government, but for the government?" Well, the stage was set for an incredibly entertaining show, and it was enjoyable even for a young 6-year-old. Now here's a bit of fun trivia. Wagner's character, Al Mundy, had an apartment set in the Watergate complex. I think there's something a bit ironic about that. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. I loved the show The Green Hornet. He was played by actor Van Williams, who played Britt Reed, the dashing newspaper owner. Some thought it was just a ripoff of Batman, but in fact, it was conceived by the same folks that came up with the Lone Ranger. It's even said that he was depicted as a direct descendant of the Western hero. But where the Lone Ranger had Tonto, the Green Hornet had his trusty valet and driver, Kato. And most of you know that Kato was portrayed by martial arts legend Bruce Lee. Bruce once said he got the role because he was the only Asian actor that could pronounce Britt Reed. The two fought crime driving their well-armed Black Beauty. The modified Chrysler was designed by the legendary Dean Jeffries. As an example of the real-life friendship between Van Williams and Bruce Lee, Williams went to bat against the producers, demanding that Bruce Lee have more screen time and more lines. Now that's what I call a true friendship. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. You know, in the previous episode, I touched very quickly on car designer Dean Jeffries, and I came to realize it just wasn't enough. Not only did Dean customize cars, but he was also a Hollywood stuntman. In the 1950s, one of his earliest customers was the legendary James Dean. Dean had him do a custom paint job on his Porsche, but it was in the 60s when he began his real custom car works. He had legendary car creations. For instance, the Manta Ray on Bikini Beach, of course the Green Hornet's Black Beauty, and the Monkey Mobile. He also made contributions to the legendary original Batmobile. He also did car customizations for Death Race 2000. Dean Jeffries was also a stunt driver and a stunt man. He did stunt work in some prominent films such as The Blues Brothers, Romancing the Stone, The Rookie, The Fugitive, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. So, all in all, the creative works of Dean Jeffries left a huge Hollywood legacy.